There are times in life when your soul becomes louder than your mind. Not louder in noise, but louder in truth. This morning, I was walking by the river. The water was moving in a thrashing rhythm. I had my ear pods on listening to a spiritual speaker. Someone I've listened to for years on and off. And that morning, I felt something heavy. I felt the pain of the world. Mothers, children, people hungry, homeless, people who are sick, people lost, barely surviving. And I stopped right there, as if life itself had reached into me. And I said it out loud into the air with force across the river, so God could hear the sound of my voice. God, God, who am I? Why am I here? God, tell me the truth. I need to know. Who am I? I stood still, thinking I would get an answer instantly. But not what religion says, not what science says, and not what society says. Truth. I want truth. Because what I feel, what I see, what I sense, it hurts. To be awake in a world that often feels asleep. To feel deeply in a world that moves past pain. To see what lives underneath words, underneath smiles, underneath survival. And wonder, why was I made to feel this much? Why was I made to see this much? What is the purpose of carrying this kind of knowing? They say, once you wake up, you can't go back. You start to see through things. You start to question everything. Systems, people, beliefs, even yourself. I remember years ago when this first started happening to me. I had a friend. I tried to share it with her. And she said, I don't want to know. I want to stay in my bubble. And I understand now, because once you start seeing there is no bubble, no glass wall protecting you, You feel it all, the truth, the pain, the patterns, the illusion. And people say you're going to lose. People won't understand you. Family will fall away. Friends will disappear. And maybe they do, but I had to stop and ask, what does this gain me? What is the gain? If awakening costs you comfort, if it costs you belonging, if seeing costs you the life you once knew, what do you gain? Do you gain freedom or do you gain sorrow? Do you gain peace or do you inherit the weight of seeing what others refuse to see? That question changed everything for me. Because if awakening only means more suffering, what have I gained? If awakening only means seeing more pain, what have I gained? If awakening only means loneliness, what have I gained? What kind of path is that? And that's what no one talks about. They glorify awakening. They romanticize waking up. But they don't talk about what comes after. What happens when the illusion is gone? What happens when you can't unsee what you now know? What happens when truth strips everything down and leaves you standing there with yourself? And that hit me hard because I started to realize if someone sees through illusions and gain nothing but despair, then the awakening is incomplete. Because truth is not meant to destroy you. Truth is meant to free you. And I wrestled with that deeply because I was seeing things, feeling things, understanding things, but I was still asking, where is the freedom in this? That night, before bed, I asked God again, God, God, who am I? Where am I? I thought if I close my eyes, the answer would come in a dream. It did not. Silence. And sometimes silence is the hardest answer. I woke up early, sat quietly on the edge of my bed, and I said, "Thank you for life today." Then I asked again, "God, who am I? Where am I?" And then I went on about my morning, not forcing it, not chasing, just being. And I usually don't scroll social media in the mornings. I try to protect my mind, but somehow I ended up on YouTube, and there it was, a title, a message, something I had never seen before, and it stopped me. So I listened. And in that message, God answered, not in thunder, not in a dream, not in some supernatural event, but through truth. And that truth was this: the purpose of becoming is to become more fully alive. When I heard that, something settled inside me, because that was the gain, not suffering, not isolation, not darkness, life. To become more fully alive, to feel, to love, to create, to tell the truth, to serve, to stop living asleep, to stop surviving as your identity, to fully live. That's what Butterfly has always been. And I didn't even know it. Butterfly, my book, 12 years ago, and Butterfly again, this podcast. Different times, same symbols, same truth. A butterfly is not born a butterfly, it becomes. And maybe so do we. Maybe life isn't asking us to be perfect. Maybe it's asking us to become, to shed, to break, to transform, to live fully. And I saw that again today. At Dollar Tree, I had to run an errand, so I went to Dollar Tree. It was a simple moment. I bought some planters. Inside one of them, I put a pack of hangers. The cashier missed it. I forgot it was there. I got to the car, heard something rattling, looked inside, and I said, "Oh, I didn't pay for this." It was $1. $1. I could have kept driving. Nobody would have known, but I went back. And the cashier, an older Black woman, you could tell life had touched her heart. Strong, she was spicy and real. She looked at me and said, "Oh my God, you are so honest." She was shocked. And in that moment, I realized that too is part of becoming. Not the big moments, the little ones. The moments where you are revealed itself. The world doesn't change in grand speeches. It changes in moments. Truth, integrity, presence. A $1 decision. And for a moment, we saw each other, two women, both carrying life, meeting in truth. That's content reach, not algorithms, not followers, not views. Content reach is when your truth reaches beyond words, when your life touches another life, when your story enters someone else's soul. That's reach. That's impact. If butterfly, the becoming, is here to do anything, it is not to wake people up to suffering. It is to help people become more fully alive. To see yourself clearly, to align your life with your truth, to stop betraying your soul, to remember you are here, you matter, your story matters, your becoming matters. And once you become fully alive, the next question becomes, what do I do with this life? Maybe the answer is simple. Love, create, serve, tell the truth. Give yourself back to the world. That is content reach. Not viral, but depth. Not noise, but truth. Not performance, but presence. So tonight I ask again, God, who am I? Where am I? And if the purpose of becoming is to become fully alive, so show me what I am here to give. Because I am listening, I am becoming. This is butterfly, the becoming.